Okay, begin. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, first thing on the agenda is approve the September 12th minutes. Everybody have a chance to review those?
I would so move, Larry.
Okay. Second. Discussion? Tim?
Yes. 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 Yes.
Yes. Okay. Next, approve the September 26th special meeting minutes. Everybody have a chance to review those?
I make a motion to approve them.
Second. Discussion? Tim?
Yes. 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 Yes.
Yes. Okay. Next on the agenda, approve the August financials, which we didn't have last meeting. Everybody have a chance to review those?
Yes, sir. I motion to approve the August financials. I second it.
Discussion? Tim?
Yes. 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 Yes.
Yes. Okay, next is approve the September financials. Everybody have a chance to review them?
I make a motion we approve the September financials. Second.
Okay, discussion? Tim?
Yes. 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 Yes.
Yes. Okay, we're gonna move Wayne up here with the funny looking thing out in the lagoon. So grab a chair, come on up.
Good morning, gentlemen, ladies.
Good morning. Wow.
Good afternoon. Exactly. Anyway, I'm back here. I was here almost exactly a year ago.
Yep.
And presented the proposal for the solar-powered mixer in the lagoon. And you approved it, and subject to not costing you anything and not creating any hassles, and based on purchase of the unit, as long as there was some improvement in the odors, and that was the biggest thing, and as well as documentation of performance. And I don't live here, so it's hard for me to know every day, but from the data that we have and the observations that I made, I don't know if there was a stinky day all spring. If there was, it was maybe just 1 or 2 days at all. That was my observation, but then I don't live here, so I'm not, but I think it proved itself that it's going to have the lagoon smelling a whole lot better, okay? We took a lot of data points, and I didn't create them all, and I got a printer that's giving me full pink edges on my document, but that's, and I didn't have enough copies made for all of you, but I can if you want. That was the installation. Then that's what it's like sitting in the water. I see out there, even though we had about a month of real low water levels out there, it's real close to floating now, or maybe is. It's hard to tell without binoculars if it's floating or not. The surface of the lagoon is being continually renewed. You can see the ripples. We measured dissolved oxygen on many, many occasions, or recorded it on the cellular modems. There was a day on April 24th when we lost communication, which happens to coincide with the day that we got the blizzard. So, you know, there are days like that that you're not going to have communication. The other thing to keep in mind is that this is data, and in the protocol of cellular communication, emergency calls, the 911s and those sorts of things are always first, always highest. We'll always get through if they can at all.
Of course.
Second is voice communication, phone calls and things like that, or emails or whatever. On the bottom is data, and we're at the bottom. So once in a while, when there's a lot of communication, a lot of information being transmitted on the internet, we'll lose out. but, you know, as long as it returns in an hour or 2 or 10 or a couple of days, you don't really lose anything. So, here's, you know, the average RPMs of the equipment. This was from November 25th to December 8th, and it averaged about 70 RPM, which is about 700 gallons a minute of mixing, 7 to 750 gallons of mixing per day. And that's right in the neighborhood of just under 1 million gallons a day that it was circulating. Here is April. The average there probably in between 60 and 70 RPM. And that's for the day. So it's running day and night, it's averaging that. Which means that probably in the daytime it might be as high as 110. And, you know, 1.1, 1.2 million gallons a day, or in the evening it's going to be a little bit less. So these are the average daily temperatures. You notice that on between December 4th and December 6th, it lost 4 degrees. That's when she really chilled down, okay? But then she started coming back up, and it came up the ways. So this is the type of data that we're recording. This is spring of this past spring. You can see in here over about a 10-day period, we come up about 1 to 2 degrees per day as it came into spring, starting right after the snowstorm. That's the snowstorm right there, okay? And then we were up at, by the 8th of May, we were up 10 degrees from where we were before. This is the average daily dissolved oxygen. It starts to drop when you get into December because you don't have as much surface area. But we were at 100% of saturation, 105, and then we got down to about 85% of saturation. Anytime you can get above 20% saturation, you have satisfied all of the oxygen that the bugs need. So there's no need for additional. It's just free. Well, you're at 80%, you know, coming into December. So then in the springtime, we were pretty low, but she started coming up as soon as the ice started coming off. So there were days when we collected the motor wattage. Right here is the day that you guys lowered the pond to where it was sitting on the bottom, okay? So we can tell different things like that. We can identify when, if somebody went out there and shot a hole in it, we'd know it almost immediately. We track it every day. We're watching it every day.
What's the date where you circled that there?
Pardon?
What's the date where you circled that? Right there. You just circled, what date is that?
August 8th.
Okay.
That's yeah, I mean,
well, let me ask you, so your map there,
yeah,
that covers like a month, or does that cover,
yeah,
what's your time frame
from July to August 31st, and this is just the motor watts.
Well, I was just looking at the time frame you had there. So
yes, yeah, exactly. So, and I'll give you a copy of this, or give this to you when we're done. Pond performance, saturation percentage. As soon as we started up this spring, we went from a little over 10% of saturation to 12 to 14 parts per million, which is above saturation. So it was doing a really good job there.
And you got those figures by testing the water, or where did you get those figures from?
Those probes, there are probes.
There are probes in there? Okay.
Probes in there hanging off the edge of the,
okay.
And they're at about 3-foot depth.
Okay.
And we're not getting readings right now because we were in the mud.
Got it. Yeah.
You know, and sludge.
Yeah.
So then this is just RPMs, an average April 1st to April 13th, and it goes up and down. Every day is going to change, you know, because you got more sun, less sun, and all of this. We start with a piece of data like this, okay, which tells you the RPMs and just a whole lot of information. we condense it then into, or convert it into the reports.
Okay.
So, and we got different ways that we look at it, but we're monitoring. Every week we have a company meeting to talk about the chicken coop report, okay? Chicken coop is all the different units that we've got out there, and we get a report on every single one of them. And we go over that, and during the week, if anybody sees a flaw in any one of the units not running for whatever reason, we investigate it and find out. And if there was a problem, we'd be up here and fix it. Maybe it's just a temporary thing, like we didn't really realize that AT&T and Verizon were going to cut us off at different times, but they do, you know, and it's just nothing, you know, it's just part of life.
Okay.
So
I have a couple questions.
Yes.
Yeah, go ahead, Larry.
So, you know, at that one point, you know, it was staked in and then it let go and it went up against the shore.
Yeah.
And how long was that against the shore? It was there quite a while.
I was there several months.
Yeah, oh yeah, exactly, yeah, after, when it tore loose, it sure did.
What was it doing then?
Pardon?
Was it functioning then? Because it was sitting at an angle like that.
It was functioning a little bit, but not very well, you know. I didn't get any pictures, you know, but it was functioning there. That was about, well, I think well, we had data on January 3rd or 5th or something like that, and then we lost it. Okay, and that's when, you know, that's when those big winds came through, and when we had staked it in the side of the lagoon, T-post, they cut loose, you know.
I guess my question is, along with that, is that if the thing is monitored weekly, then why did it lay over there for months?
Because we couldn't get to it.
Instead of,
Yeah, we couldn't have done anything with the cable, untangled it, because it was a real mess.
Well, then I'm sure it froze in too, so.
Yeah, it just
Right,
froze in,
okay.
yeah, so.
so you knew it had
Oh,
drifted?
yes,
Okay.
absolutely, absolutely.
So it really wasn't doing anything until it thawed then?
Pardon?
So it really wasn't doing anything until the thaw came then, right?
Right,
So,
right,
yeah.
We went, lagoon was completely froze over on, let's say, April 1st, okay? On April 2nd, we were operating, we had open water all around it, and we documented that.
So from January, March.
Yeah, yeah,
February, March, April, yeah, like 3 months at least, so.
yeah. And we know why it happened. It was the wind and the cabling that took us out, but, you know, we did what we could, but there wasn't, once it happened, you can't, there's not much you can do.
So also I was gonna ask, and you were gonna send monthly reports?
Yes.
Did we get monthly reports? I don't think we did.
Adam never received any reports,
Adam,
no.
I sent Adam some reports, not monthly reports,
Yeah,
but,
I remember you saying we were gonna get monthly reports.
Yeah.
Because I visited with Adam because I get the water and sewer portfolio, and
I called him and talked to him, but, you know, I
he said
said,
he's never got a report, so.
well, my bad. Yeah, I mean, we took them, we obviously took them and got them, it's just, we didn't do a very good job.
Yeah, because we haven't, this is the first update that we've received.
Okay.
And I'd have to go back and watch the meeting. It was actually my first meeting as a commissioner, but I had thought then too that you promised monthly reports, you know, updates, communication, that type of thing, and
Because there were some reports in that Adam runs, or he takes, that he could compare it to see if there was much of a difference or not.
right.
Well, yeah, I don't know what he would compare to, because from what Adam had told me, they never really took dissolved oxygen readings or temperature readings in the past. And you probably don't have that. It's not required by the state. It's just something that we're doing because it's the best way of finding out how your lagoon is working. And, yeah, we lost, 4 months there, so to speak, because of freezing in. And
Any way to solve that problem with the wind and such?
Pardon?
Any way to solve that problem with the wind?
Yes, it's been solved. We anchored a lot more securely this year. So
Is there like a user interface on our side where we could actually just look at it, or?
we're working on that. It's not completely, it's not real user friendly yet.
Sure.
Right? It's coming. I was in California doing the same thing and wanting the same thing, and we're trying to get it more user-friendly, but, you know, that's a learning experience. Nobody's really doing this, monitoring a lagoon in process. In the, you know, they measure what's going in and what's going out sometimes, okay? That's about the extent of it. Well, we're going midpoint and finding out what's happening in the middle of the lagoon.
Right, well, you know, and also, you know, you said there probably wasn't a lot of odor this spring. Well, actually there was, because, I mean, the thing wasn't working.
Yeah.
You know, so, you know, for all those months. And then, you know, once you get the odor, once the, you know, ice comes off and it starts to turn over, so.
And
you know,
once the
really-
ice came off, I didn't detect any odor, you know, at any point, but then I wasn't here every day.
Yeah, yeah, well, there was some days,
Yeah.
definitely. And, you know, I mean, normally the town doesn't know unless the wind's blowing this way.
Exactly.
You know, usually the wind blows that way and it blows across the river,
The
so.
only people that really notice it are the ones down the highway, down that way.
So what is our time frame when that thing was put in? If I remember right, it was put in on a free trial basis for a year.
Yes.
And then we could say yes or no whether we wanted it or not. And if we said no, you would just simply pick it up and take it home.
Yes, that's exactly right.
Right. Yeah.
What was the cost on it again?
It's about 20,000.
20,000, and the list price on the unit is 46,000.
20,000 per year,
No,
just to buy it.
20,000 one time.
one time, okay.
Yeah.
Do you remember what the anniversary date of it is when we put it in?
Well, we put it, I think, on the 27th of October.
Okay, so it's coming up.
Yeah, it's coming up, and
Right.
I just thought, well, okay, I'll come up and visit and see what, you know, see if there's, if I can create the reports as best we can, data, would that be helpful?
Well, I guess my concern is that the lack of communication over the past year, you know, with Adam.
Yeah.
And then also us not having a way of doing our own comparisons. You know, we're just, and I'm not, you know, discounting your data here, but we have nothing to compare it to. We have nothing, you know, like that. So without sitting down and visiting with Adam and doing a little bit, you know, more research on it and ironing out some bugs, like why aren't we getting information like was promised?
Yeah.
You know, I couldn't vote to keep it at this point. So,
Okay.
because to me, it really hasn't proven that it does what it does, so.
That was a question mark on my part.
Yeah.
Because I don't disagree at all,
Yeah.
you know, but I felt like, hey, we're at a year, I gotta get up and talk to the
Right.
visit with you, and.
So you need a decision from this commission by the 27th to know whether to keep it or not?
No, I think what I'd just as soon do is I'd give you till springtime and show you the data over the next several months on a monthly basis. If that's,
I think what would have to, if we were to analyze it, it would have to at least go till at least the middle of the year to see how the odor would come, you know what I mean? That would be probably the minimum amount of time that we
Yeah,
would
I mean,
need to.
Into next June, say June
next
1st, something like
June,
that.
yeah, or July or whatever, yeah, July 1st day.
okay,
If you wanted to do that.
I think I can do that.
Yeah.
I mean, I got a little egg on my face and I'm not really, you know, afraid of saying it simply because we didn't get the reports done. I'm
Yeah.
building a business and I got a dozen
Yeah.
employees
Right,
and
I understand.
sometimes you just can't keep up. you
And
know?
that would be under the same agreement that next June, if we say, no, we don't want this thing, you would just simply take it back and it'd
Yes.
be at no expense to us.
Yeah,
And if we want it, then we would purchase it.
sure.
It's just that you're extending that trial period from a
Exactly.
year out to,
Yeah.
you know,
I'll revise this letter and redate it, you know.
yeah, and make sure you get it to Chelsea.
Yes, yeah, exactly. That's no problem.
So if we do accept it, you'd put a new one in there then, or would you leave that one in there that's no? No, I'm just asking.
Yeah, no. I'll put another one in the other pond and we'll do the same kind of a deal.
Oh, yeah.
But anyway, I hope you understand that we don't know whether the proof is in the pudding yet on whether
Yeah,
it's doing it.
It's a bit hard to
Yeah,
tell,
so,
you know?
yeah.
The biggest conflict is that the data that municipalities are required by the state to collect or whatever is what's going in and what's going out. And the state doesn't say anything about what's happening out in the middle of the lagoon.
Yeah.
That's where all the work is being done.
Yeah.
That's where all the bugs are doing all the work.
Yeah.
So we're trying to capture the data out in the middle of the lagoon to where it, all the work is being done. And it's not a perfect science.
But if you could monthly communicate with Adam.
Sure.
That would be appreciated.
That's not a problem.
Okay.
I'll make a motion.
I just hired more people to do that sort of thing.
Okay. Yeah, I would move that we would extend the free trial period of this
Okay.
aerator, if I can call it that.
That's the best way,
aerator,
yeah.
To June 1st of 2023.
I would say July 1st if you could.
Okay, July
Because
1st. Is that okay with you?
that
Yeah, that's
gives us
fine. Yeah, I think
plenty of
that's-
time
Yeah.
for,
Yeah.
because if we get a late
Thaw, correct.
I'll second it.
Yeah, so to July 1 of 2023, under the free trial period,
Sure.
with no obligation.
Nope.
Yep, and should we choose to keep it, we'll buy it. If not, you'll
We'll just
come and take it back.
Come and get the cable. Now, we are going to
Okay,
do.
we have a motion on the table.
Yep,
so
he's
can you
gonna second it.
So, okay, any more discussion
Everybody
on
understand
the
the
motion?
Okay,
Okay, we'll vote on the motion, Tim.
yes.
Yes.
And
Yes.
Yeah,
we are going
okay.
to stop and do some service work here in the next couple of weeks because we want to, we found a way to hopefully reduce or eliminate the freeze up, but, it's hard to be,
Yeah.
last winter, kind of bought, hit us pretty good, so.
Yeah.
One other quick question, is there any time in the future, I think Keith might have been alluding to that, to where we could actually watch the live data on it,
Sure.
RPM and that type of thing?
We'll have that by the end of the year.
Okay,
Oh, nice.
okay.
Yeah,
So if you could
so-
get that to us, you'll go through Adam and get it to us.
sure,
Is that what you were alluding to, Keith?
Yeah,
Yeah,
then you
okay.
can monitor it.
yeah,
Right.
exactly.
Okay,
I mean, I think if it proves it works, I think it would be a very valuable tool.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Well, it proves the operation, and, odor is a subjective thing, there's no guarantees there.
Okay.
All right, thank you, Jeff.
Thank you.
Wayne.
You
Thank
bet.
you. You bet.
Okay, now we came, library board appointments.
We're good.
All right, thanks.
Yes, thank you.
Five, so we have 5 people interested in the library board. So, is everybody here? Okay, one.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll start with Elizabeth. Elizabeth, come on up. Come on up. Never had this many people for an appointment before. I know. So, I guess, why do you want to be on the library board?
Honestly, I was asked,
Okay.
probably about 6 months ago, I was asked by the librarian if I'd be interested. Obviously, having been a librarian in the past, I was,
Okay,
I obviously care about the future of the library and
okay. Okay.
yeah.
There was the big meeting the other day
Oh.
about that. What was your thoughts on that? I mean, about accepting those books and stuff that were controversial.
Well, I think it probably, in the end, it's a good idea that the library board probably steer clear of any sort of grants that have the strings tied to them, so to speak. So I didn't so much have a problem with the board voting against
Okay.
taking that specific grant, as long as that's the case going forward, that the library board steer clear of any sort of ties. My only personal, concern during the whole discussion is that we don't start sort of nitpicking and picking and choosing which books and getting real, like saying these books can't be in the library, and these, the librarian's job is to maintain a balanced collection.
Okay.
And so that was my only thing, that we didn't start going down that road where we would start keeping books out of the library.
Sure. On that topic, one of the big issues in our nation and state and so many different areas is sexually explicit books that are being geared towards children, the young adult section, and that sort of stuff. what would be your stance on providing sexually explicit books to children?
Well, obviously, I would have a stance on providing sexually explicit. I mean, that you don't literally choose to provide a child of an inappropriate age material that's not to their level. That is, as far as the board, we entrust our librarian to maintain that balanced collection. She is not actively providing, nor should the board be actively providing any books one way or the other to our patrons.
Sure. If I may just, one step further, you said twice that the librarian is responsible solely for the books. It's actually, according to bylaws, that the board and everyone would have an input, so that's why I'd ask you directly about that. So would your input include providing sexually explicit books for children? It's not like you're giving it to them, but would you have them in the library?
Would I choose to? I guess I don't see it as the library board hires the librarian to purchase the books. If there is a problem with the books that the librarian is putting on the shelves, then that is a discussion for the board. You would no longer have support of the librarian you've chosen, but the library is not providing books, sexually explicit books. We have a wide variety of genres of books in the library according to age appropriateness, and the librarian or the library board is not actively providing or supporting sexually explicit books. I mean, that's just inherent in certain genres of books, I guess.
Okay.
But,
Sure. Any other questions?
That's a tough question. I mean, I still have the question, but that's fine.
Any other questions?
I'm fine.
Okay.
Yep.
Thanks, Elizabeth.
thank you.
Ashley? Okay, basically the same question. Why do you want to be on the library board?
Well, reading and books and local libraries, I'm very passionate about that. I read a lot. I've read over 100 books this year, and
Wow.
I read a lot. And I had also had comments from people already on the board saying we kind of need the newer generation to step up and start doing some of this. And I have not been on any kind of board or committee, and I just kind of feel like I could bring a new perspective to it.
Okay. Okay, and back to the same question again. What's your thoughts on that meeting of the questionable books that they had on there?
So I specifically went to that meeting because, to my knowledge, I was one of the few people in the room who had read many of the books on the list.
Okay.
Of my own accord.
Okay.
Before this list was ever a thing. And I guess kind of my thing is, back to what Liz said, I'm not in favor of taking money with strings attached, really, period.
Mm-hmm.
As far as the content of the books go, you read to learn. There is the political stuff, and everyone's there's an agenda and this and that. Fine. When you want to learn about the other side, you read about it. And so that is why I have read many of them, because sometimes I just, quite frankly, want to know what the heck they're thinking.
But these were kind of aimed at children, though.
Yes, I was not in favor of taking the grant. I spoke, but I wanted to come because I have personally read the books, and where I don't, the sexual content is what. If you want to put that on a shelf for grown adults, fine. But when it's going on a shelf for kids, that, having personally read some of those books, that makes me uncomfortable.
Have you read Black Lives Matter book then too?
Have I read books about
Yeah.
Black Lives Matter? Oh yeah, absolutely. Mm-hmm.
So that's in the library also.
Oh, I don't know about our public library.
You didn't get the books in the public?
Not specifically, no.
Okay.
But I mean, if you want to learn about it, you read about it, So that, I think people should have that choice. But the sexually explicit content,
But should children have that choice about reading about that?
That's exactly what I'm saying. Like,
You think?
it's the age limit. No. It shouldn't be geared towards, once they start getting to an older age, they should be able to make that
Make their
decision
own
themselves.
decision then.
But when you've got these books on shelves for somebody who is 8 years old, that's when we get into the conditioning kind of thing and stuff. I'm not in favor of
Our
that.
job is to protect our children,
Mhm,
correct?
absolutely. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I would be asking the same question, but you've already answered it,
Okay.
in all fairness, so,
Yeah.
yeah.
I just have one quick question. I don't know whether you can answer, Liz, but when you say young adults, what is that age group? That section?
Well, so young adult, I believe, goes like 14 to 18. It's kind of,
It's kind of a general,
Yeah.
all those books do have most of them, or they should have a sticker on them as well.
yes.
Yeah.
The YA sticker.
So young adult is supposed to be more towards like the teen,
Mhm.
but
But very impressionable formative years.
yes. And it, again, like there are books about like the Holocaust on that list. I mean, that can be debated as whether or not it's appropriate content. Would I let my kid read it? Probably. But when it comes to the sexual stuff, I don't, there needs to be a little more.
Holocaust is history, though.
Right, agreed.
And that's a very important part of our history.
Right,
Yep.
right.
Yeah, just the big concern is, not necessarily information and that sort of thing, but there is a century code against obscene
Absolutely.
materials for
Mhm.
minors, so obviously wanting to stay away, steer clear of that.
Right.
There's a reason why that exists.
Mhm.
Any other questions?
No, thanks, Ashley.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Morgan?
Hi.
Hi.
Hey, Mark.
Or no, you know.
So same question, why do you want to be on the library board?
Well, I have two little girls that I take to the library, so I very much so enjoy the library and what it has to offer. So, seeing as everything has happened and everything just with the library board and the grant and stuff, I felt kind of led to be a warm body, so to speak, as Mark put it. We need warm bodies, new blood, etc. Just be a help for the community too. Just that's something that I really love this community, and I really want to be involved in the community in any way that I can. And this is kind of the first opportunity for me to get involved, I suppose.
Okay, also, you know, if you can, you know, kind of elaborate a little bit more on the library meeting that they had, you know, with those certain books. Can you just
Yeah.
elaborate on that a little bit?
Yeah. I have read some of the excerpts from the list of those books. I haven't read all the books in full, or majority of the books in full, but it's very concerning that a grant would push a sexual agenda for children, and obviously the children are the most vulnerable among us, so we need to protect them, and I would think that having that in the library would not be beneficial, and that we should not. For one, I was not in favor of the grant, but also just making sure, like, if I'm on the library board, I want to make sure that those kinds of books don't come into the library that are sexually explicit, because I very much so feel strongly about not exposing children to that. I was exposed to sexual things as a child, very young, and that really is something I'm passionate about, not having that be for other children too, because it was so damaging for me.
Yeah, good answer.
I would ask my question, but it's been answered, so thank you.
Other questions? I think you pretty much answered that. Okay, thank you. Cindy Weber.
Easy.
I know, we let her off easy. She answered all the questions. So you know the questions now.
I know the question.
Why do you want to be on the board?
Hi, Jenny.
Hi. We have been in this community for 12 years, and it is time for, it's a good time to stand up and start being a more active part of the community. And in that, when everything came up with the library, this last time, I didn't, to be honest, up until all of the news came out about the library meetings and that, I did not realize there was a library board. And being able to be part of it and being able to communicate with the community what is going on and being able to share that not everybody is passionate about reading. I did grow up we did not have TV, and so we were very, very actively reading, but also.
Oh, come on, you're not that old.
She didn't say that she came out before TV.
I know, yeah.
I know.
I came out before TV.
I didn't say I grew up watching
Anyway,
as well,
yeah.
but no. No.
Sorry.
But it is very important to continue the library, but also, if I can just transition into the next question.
Yes, absolutely, go ahead.
Being able to continue the library, but seeing that there are we and our children are getting into a world that we've never been in before, that is it's been there, but it hasn't been as blatantly exposed to everyone, and feeling that, again, grants, my feeling on grants, my mom has written for many grants, is that grants are never free. And as a library, as a community, if we're going to apply for grants, we need to make sure, are we using our current funds wisely? Clearly, with the library, we hadn't even used our book budget to the whole. And being able to say, there should always be a stop when there are strings attached to a grant. When there is something that says you can only purchase this list and not any other ones, there's an issue. It's not an inclusive grant. An all-inclusive grant would say, pick your books. So very opposed to it, and looking at it from here on out, saying that there are so many things that the board can do to help the librarian, and being able to bring those ideas to the table where the librarian is still able to do her job, but the board is able to help her. One person shouldn't be solely responsible for all of those items.
Real quickly then, I mean, you talked about the grants. What about, you lightly touched on the books themselves. Can you go into that just a little bit?
Yes, I can. It makes me sick that there are books that are targeting children sexually. We were talking about the Holocaust books. The books that are coming out now and the agenda that is coming out now is pushing away history. It's pushing away what our veterans have done. It's pushing an agenda, trying to condition our children that only one group matters when all lives in fact matter. History, if we do not learn from history, we will repeat the same mistakes again. If we do not stop immediately without even questioning, stopping the pushing of pornography, the pushing of sexually explicit books on children, if we do not allow our children to vote, to buy tobacco until they're a certain age, why are we allowing them to go into a library and pick out books without supervision, without saying, no, this cannot be in this section.
Okay.
So,
any other questions?
History is very graphic at times.
it is.
And you need to keep that history alive, because if you don't, it's forgotten. And history should not be forgotten.
Indeed. And my children, I should say our children, we do allow our children to read history. And again, it comes with that age groups. It comes with the books aimed within those certain groups. Our kids read a book, series called I Survived. And it goes through different historical events. And being able to give them history and help them understand, because their little minds don't understand the severity that even we don't always understand either. But being able to work with it and to be able to shelter to a point.
Okay, we're good. Anything else? No. Thank you, Jenny.
Thank you.
Jonathan.
My
library board?
My wife Heather's been working as an assistant for Candy since winter sometime. So I've been involved from a distance, and with I attended the last couple library board meetings and saw the controversy, and just wanted to step in, I guess, and offer another option.
Okay, so I'll just kind of go into the next question then. So you saw the controversy. What was your thoughts on that then?
I think they came to the correct conclusion, not taking a grant, any type of grant. I think it's going to be, my wife and I, our family moved from Colorado, and we've seen a lot of what's probably coming this way, and this is just the beginning. And I really appreciate Candy and what she's done to her heart for the community, to serve and to expand the public's use of the library. But kind of as Ginny said, this is going to take all hands on deck. This is going to take the whole community to support, to be vigilant, to keep an eye on what's coming in.
Okay.
Specifically with books, one of the biggest controversies is the sexually explicit material geared towards children and young adults, sometimes using junior fiction, that sort of thing. And the parents don't really know, it's like, oh, this book, young adult, it must be screened somehow. So what would be your opinion on providing sexually explicit material for children?
I would say absolutely not. And further to the discussion of censoring, regulating, whatever you want to call it, there's a management of what's on the shelf for youth. It's just, I think everybody agrees there's a line somewhere. We just have to work together to figure out where that line should be.
That's a fine line at times.
Yes, it is. Okay. Anybody else? Anything else you want to share with us, or?
I guess just another thing that caught my attention in the meetings, the discussion. I heard comments on how they build the collection and maybe weed the collection, as there's a emphasis on new books and cleaning out the old books. And I thought that was, and I don't think that's Candy. I think that probably comes from either the state or the ALA or somewhere else. But I think that's an error. I know in my life personally, a lot of growth has come from older books. And yep. I think that's pretty clear. But you can make a solid case. But
Probably don't have enough room for all the books down there after you get new books and all the old books, because there's probably not enough room for all that stuff.
I would suggest that maybe we should change to have a more diverse age range, but age of books.
Age appropriate?
Yeah. Instead.
Okay, any other questions? Anything else? Okay.
Thanks, John. Thank you.
All right, so, no, there's one spot open, correct?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, discussion from the board?
I guess one discussion point is, thank you everyone for having your interest, and just to let everyone know, there is another spot coming open in a few months here, so just wanted to make that public knowledge here. So.
That's true.
Tough decision from good candidates.
Yes, absolutely.
Good ones.
Discussion, anybody want to make a motion on somebody, anything? I really liked John's answer on, he came from Colorado where he's seen a lot of this movement to influence our children, and he sees it coming this way. I mean, that really stood out.
And it seems like where we live in rural America or North Dakota, sooner or later it ends up on our doorstep.
Oh, absolutely.
And
We're usually last.
right. So better to be proactive than have to react after it shows up here, so.
And then also Ginny and John with the kind of history and preservation of that.
That's true.
Really good point.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yep.
I would say those two would be my top choices.
Okay. I would move that we would appoint John Lissenden to the library committee.
Second. Discussion? Tim?
Yes.
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 Yes. Okay. Congratulations, John.
Much appreciated, all of you.
Thank you, everybody. There'll be
Thank you.
another one coming up, I think, at the end of the year, so.
January, yeah.
January, yeah.
Okay. So, all right. Thank you.
We can keep your letters.
Yeah.
Or you can come up and talk to us again.
All right. Okay, so, Washburn Light, I think. That's Rhonda. You can all stay if you want. Oh, okay.
Okay. We'll start out
Candy
with
Caravan.
Candy Caravan. We would like to have the city block off Main Street from 6th Street to 9th Street.
What day?
October 31st, the Candy Caravan will leave from 3:30 to 5. So hoping to have the roads, if the barricades are there, blocked by 3 o'clock.
That's Halloween day, isn't it?
Yes, Halloween day.
Is that when you have the candy caravan all the time?
Usually on Halloween unless it's on a weekend.
Okay.
That's on,
Monday.
Monday, okay. Is that the only request for that?
That's the only,
I
yes.
move. I move.
I second.
Discussion?
I say yes.
On that committee, so.
Tim? Yeah, go ahead.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Okay, that was easy.
Okay.
Washburn Life, waiver of fees for vendor show.
Yes, the Washburn Life will be hosting a small business vendor and craft show Saturday, November 26th from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. on that Saturday. So we are asking to have the fees waived for rental. I would need to set up on Friday night and then have the doors open that Saturday at 9 and then close at 4, and lock at 4.
I make a motion that we approve waiver of the fees.
This is what you've done in the past, right? Rhonda? Or similar?
Yes, we don't charge for the
Vendors.
vendors. This
Oh.
is my second year doing this.
Yeah, I'll second that.
Okay, you still need a deposit, of course.
Yes,
You know.
I believe those have been dropped off or not yet.
Well, it'd be two, it'd be like $300.
Yeah.
So, okay, so.
For the kitchen and.
And, upstairs.
Yeah.
Right. Discussion?
Because my only thing is thank you for doing this. We had a lot of fun last year.
Tim?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, yes. And waiver of fees for Santa Day.
That would be the Saturday, December 3rd. We're still in the planning stages for that. I think I said times will be determined, but we have figured we would run it from 10:30 till 2 p.m. It'll just be a morning. You'll see Santa, you'll have lunch, and then and there'll be a few games, coloring sheets, things like that.
So you'll be serving lunch there?
Yes.
Okay.
So we'd like the fees waived, and we'll put down a deposit and.
I make a motion, we waive Santa Day fees.
Second.
Discussion?
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, and my other thing I'd like to bring up.
What?
Another
Not
thing?
on here.
It's not on here, but it
Not
deals
on the
with Santa Day.
agenda.
You're looking for a volunteer?
No, the Christmas tree. With the building going down, is it going to be like a construction thing? You know, we have to do the lighted Christmas tree.
Oh, the community Christmas tree.
Yeah,
That's far enough out of the way, it'll be fine.
or we can bring it to City Hall.
Where are you gonna put it at City Hall?
That's fine.
But
You think we're gonna dig a hole out here?
That has
No.
that has a built-in stand down there.
Yes.
Yeah.
I just wanted to make sure it was still okay to have
Okay,
the
Santa Days is when again? That's in
December 3rd.
December 3rd. That could be major construction going on there.
Because I know when you did the
Major destruction going on there.
the old courthouse, you had it, that was October, and it was filled in by December, so it didn't affect it. Or we can skip the community tree this year.
Can we just do it, pending whether it's gonna be,
Okay.
Yeah,
let's do that.
yeah. You need help with it or whatever, just let us know.
All right.
Yep.
But you're not doing the parade or anything,
We are
correct?
not doing the parade because you can't trust the weather. Last year we had snow and ice, and it was just too slippery.
Okay, fun.
Okay.
Snowmobile.
Anything else?
That is it.
Thank you, Rhonda.
Thank you.
Thanks, Rhonda.
Mark? Community garden.
So anyways, the park board has a meeting on Wednesday, and we're gonna talk about the community garden and possibly relocating it.
Okay.
But I wanted to talk to the city because our location that we're looking at is across the highway on our piece of property. There's a hydrant on the corner of the property.
Okay.
So, I wanted the input from the city. We would pay for all construction to put in a curb stop and all that. We'd want to put in a 2-inch line, and we'd have to put in a meter. But I just want to know if the city would possibly waive the hookup fee.
Oh, the $750 hookup fee.
Yeah.
I don't have a problem with that. I think that would make sense. And that's all, you'd put all the other stuff in and just all you want is the fee. Yeah.
Correct.
I'll make a motion, we will waive the hookup fee for that.
I'll second
Tim?
Yes.
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 it. Yes.
Yes.
Thank you.
So, excuse me, Mark, would you just out of curiosity, so would you guys put it like down in a pit like the school does with their, to keep it from freezing or to
We would put it in pretty much like we have for the sprinkler system down at Wall Diamond.
Okay.
To where you would have a curb stop that you could turn, open, and actually put a lock on.
Okay.
But where would the actual meter be? That would be above ground or would the meter be in a pit or?
It would be above ground. This would be only a summertime use,
Okay.
of course.
Well, that's.
You just have to remove the meter then at the end.
Yeah, you remove the meter, turn it off, just, yeah.
Correct.
Yeah, okay.
The park board is also located playground equipment that we're going to be talking about, and then possibly putting that up there as well.
Okay. Cool.
Okay.
Just so you,
Was that supposed to be original playground up in that area?
It's supposed to be a park originally. The whole thing was, yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so next we've got park board property.
Yep. Anyways, the Washburn Park Board is on their Wednesday meeting, and this is just kind of information.
Okay.
We're going to be looking at realigning our job duties on the properties and stuff.
Okay.
I know that we've been doing a lot of mowing and maintenance on city property.
Okay.
And we haven't received any payments from the city for all that maintenance since 2018. So,
Actually, the city has never paid the park board for maintenance.
the pavement.
Chelsea and I were talking about that today, and I know way back when, there used to be money coming from the state. And I can't remember, we're gonna look into that, see if we can find it. But there was money coming from the state, and it would all come to the city, and it would be, say, this is for the city, this is for the park board, and the park board would, and the city would give this money to the park board. And why that quit, I don't know, but we're gonna be checking into that. But that was actually money from the state that they got.
Okay.
You know,
But the
and-
city has stopped giving
Well,
park board money, and that,
Well, my point is, it was money from the state,
Not from the city.
not from the city.
well, wherever it came from,
Yeah.
is the city still getting that money?
Well, that's what we're gonna try and find out. Now, we don't, not that we know, because I remember way back when we actually got the thing that said, this is how much you got, and this much goes to the park board. And that's what we're gonna check into.
We've never gotten that.
Yeah.
Not since I've been here.
Yeah, and it was, I don't remember what it was from, but we'll definitely check into it.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Mark,
Just so,
yeah,
Yeah.
do you know outside of Riverside Park, what other properties you mow that are cities?
everything along the walking trail from the interpretive center, all the way up to
You
the.
mean the ditches, the highway ditches?
No, highway ditches coming down 200
Okay.
on the west side.
Mhm.
We take care of that. And then, the park board has a diamond piece down by the baseball diamond.
Right. here.
Right, yep.
Right
Right?
there.
And then,
Yeah.
but then the boat ramp road, the city, we've been maintaining that. And then from those white posts,
What do you mean, boat ramp? Oh, the pavement? You're talking about the pavement coming down?
this is both sides of the road.
Okay.
Yep. And then from the white pillars going into Riverside Park, the boat ramp and all that property belongs to the city. But then from
Actually, the boat ramp belongs to the park board.
Park board.
That's all park board land.
Yeah. Right.
it doesn't show on the map that it belongs to the park board.
Yeah, it actually does.
Yeah, it's right.
Does it?
Yeah.
This would be the bridge, of course, coming across, and then this would be the parking lot up on top, or here, River Egg. And then this here's the boat ramp down here.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Erica went through and printed out the maps.
Oh, okay. Because I looked it up and it shows it,
Did you go on the GIS, McLean County?
Yeah.
thing? Okay.
yep, and it shows,
Yeah, because this is like, you guys, the park board has this, and the city has this, and then this is,
Correct.
and then this here going this direction is Riverside Park. It goes really long like that, and that's
Right.
city.
this is, right, but this is what I'm talking about on both sides of the road.
Mhm.
And then as these.
Here's the water
Oh,
treatment
there, yeah,
plant.
right, got that.
Yeah, this is what I'm talking,
Yeah.
on both sides of this road,
Mhm.
up to this
Yeah.
high
Yeah.
piece.
No, but you were talking about this.
Yeah,
boat ramp.
because if this belongs to you as a park board, then we maintain all of this, because you don't have the equipment to maintain this.
See, and then the park board actually sold this to,
Right.
River Egg. They got
Yeah.
the money for that.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's all your guys'
But
stuff.
we maintain all of this. We pull the
Okay.
dock in and out. We
Sure.
maintain this road. You know,
Okay.
I mean, there's gotta be.
I wasn't aware of this,
Yeah.
this piece being park board
Yeah,
property.
and all of it up in here.
Okay.
And
That's never been made aware to me.
Hmm.
So anyways,
We
so
can get
that-
you copies of this park board property if you want, so.
well, I can, okay, but do you have, Riverside Park?
Riverside Park
Riverside Park is owned by the city.
is owned by the city.
Correct.
Yeah, and that's right in here.
Yeah, and then the walking trail, bike path.
A lot of the walking trail actually sits on a street right away. It doesn't go either direction. I can't remember what the name of it is. Like the one right behind your house there. There's
Right.
actually if you look on the GIS, there's a street through there.
Some of that is, but,
Some
but
is.
I'm talking as it comes
Mhm.
down past
Yeah.
the substation.
Yeah. I guess
Well,
one question.
the thing is though, 283, that's on state land.
Yep.
And I don't know why the park board knows that, but maybe that was the agreement when it was put in. I don't know. You know.
Yeah, because that all belongs, like you said, the state. One thing, Mark, is that it'd be nice if we could sit down, the two boards,
Mhm.
so that we can see where we can share services, where we can help each other, where we'll do our thing here, we'll do your thing there, so that we
Yeah.
can work together and sort through this.
Well, true, and I agree with that 100%.
Yeah, absolutely.
But the only thing is, we haven't received any funding for all that maintenance that we've been doing over the last 4 years.
But then, go ahead.
Let me finish.
Yeah.
So anyways, and if it's gonna be a continuing issue,
Mhm.
I can't see the park board paying for that in the future.
Right. Well, we could do the mowing, but could you pull the boat dock out? Could you maintain the road? I'm not trying to get into a tit for tat here, but I mean, we're grading and maintaining the road to the boat dock. We're maintaining the road up to the top, the parking lot, pulling the boat dock in and out. So there's a trade-off that's been going here. You don't have the equipment to do that, we do. So we've been doing it. It's park board property. But the city's been doing that. Now, in exchange, you've been mowing some of our property too. And that's why we need to sit down and say, okay, what's an even trade-off here?
Well,
Because my point is that if we start doing all of your mowing, are you gonna hire somebody to maintain and pull the boat dock in and out, is what I'm saying, because we're doing that now. So we're trying to
it
trade
would be a lot
services.
cheaper for us to hire somebody to come in and do it when we want it put in and pulled out. And because now we wait for the city to be ready to do it. And sometimes it doesn't get done until they feel that they want to do it, compared to when we want it done.
What difference does it make when we do it?
Right. And what do you mean by
Makes a
cheaper?
world of
Because we're doing it
difference.
for nothing, so what do you mean by cheaper? We're maintaining the roads for nothing.
Well, I'm not saying we can't, if we knew that that was part of the agreement, I would hire Chris Truspick to put it in at a certain time and pull it out and maintain the road all the time. So it's in a better condition than what it's in now. I mean, the road going up the hill, it's terrible.
That road should
I mean,
never been put in there. Yeah, that needs curb and gutter,
But
absolutely.
I know.
I know.
But I guess
I was
issues
back
we
on the
need to-
commission back when it was talked about on that road going up the hill, about how to maintain it properly, and it hasn't been maintained properly in the last 10 years.
There's only one way to maintain it properly, and that is to put curb and gutter and pavement. That's the only way.
There was talk of putting crushed concrete in that washout to keep it from further, because the dirt just keeps getting washed out and the rock remains.
I don't know if crushed concrete would even stay in there. I mean, there's so much water runs through there. It's unreal.
Well, then you have to cut the top so you don't have that water running down the road.
Well, but anyway, that's another story. That's a whole nother issue.
Right.
So,
But that's fine.
Yeah.
But I welcome
Yeah.
the city commissioners that are on the portfolio for buildings and grounds
Yeah.
to attend our meeting, because about 80% of our work, and that's another thing, it takes the Riverboat Park, or Riverside Park, and all that city property that's about 80% of our work in labor and in fuel. And I don't, right now, if you want to talk about a trade-off with that boat ramp,
That was just an example.
That was just.
well, I'm just saying, that's a drop in the bucket compared to everything that we maintain over 18 acres of land.
Not if you have to buy gravel and put on there, it's not.
Larry, you're
I mean, I'm
changing
just
the
saying.
subject.
No, I'm just saying,
But-
you just said.
I'm saying that we're maintaining 18 acres of property.
Got it, okay. Very good.
And that 18 acres is a week in, week out. Also trees. We've cleaned up, when I started for the park board, when I got hired on at the park board, your Riverside Park was in terrible shape. It was so overgrown with vegetation, trees, nothing had been trimmed in a number of years.
And that was the park board's fault.
When I came in, I started going down there and cleaning it up.
I'm just saying, that was, in the park board took care of it.
Well, your son was park board president at that time.
You know what,
So-
don't even go there.
I'm not.
But that's kind of.
But under Adam, he gave me the initiative to go in and start cleaning stuff
So
up.
what you're asking is you want some representatives to come to your next meeting?
Right, to talk about some of these issues so we can move forward.
Yeah, because we're getting off of the point here
Right.
of discussion.
Well, because-
And
My recommendation.
that's another that's another issue to address some other time. You're bringing up this stuff now, we need to concentrate on that.
Right.
Right.
I
So, my point, what I came here to do, is the park board is gonna, as of what I can see in the near future, is we're gonna take care of the park board property and park board property only, unless we come to a compromise.
Okay.
Very good, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, that's fine.
Right.
We agree with that.
It'd probably be a wise and prudent thing to do that, because if we only have like what we think the agreement said from both sides and not the actual agreement, like something written out, that'd be really helpful.
Right.
Wherever that would be, if there was some sort of written, I take care of this is the cost, if not, and if there's nothing like that, then we have nothing really to talk about. And then we can just start from square one, work together really well, try and figure out a good trade-off, that sort of thing, just rebuild it for the betterment of the community. It'd be a great idea.
Yeah, if you guys wanna handle your own stuff, that's fine.
Tim?
Yeah, my recommendation would be not to come to the park board meeting, but would be to you appoint by a majority vote, because that's legal, that we would, by a vote, appoint two people, whether it's Jamie and I, because of Building and Grounds, to sit down with two appointees of yours by a majority vote within the minutes of your meeting, and sit down and do the legwork first, instead of two of your people coming here and two of us going there. You know?
Meeting's Wednesday or this Wednesday?
This one.
Yeah, but we would sit down as your committee and our committee and sort through the logistics, and then take it back to each existing board for approval. That makes more sense than Jamie and I coming there, you know, so.
Well,
Can we go there this Wednesday or no? Or
Well, then it would be their full board and just you and I, so,
Yeah.
and we have no authority on it, so. It would make more sense to have two committees come together
Yeah.
and hash through all the stuff, is if it's you and somebody else, or you, whoever your board chooses by law, by a majority vote in your minutes, that says that you've given them authority to come and negotiate something, but us and them would have no power to do anything by law unless you take it back, you know, and then you have a vote on each side.
Yeah.
To me, that would make more sense. So,
We will in a little bit.
yeah.
Yeah.
So if that's agreeable to you, Mark, if you on Wednesday night want to come, I mean, this is just me speaking, but I would rather that we have two of your representatives, and then Jamie and I are on Building and Grounds, and we sit down and we go over all this property, who's going to maintain it, who isn't going to maintain it, come to an agreement, take it back to the existing, your board, our council, and vote on it from there. Makes, you know.
Does that make sense to you?
It makes total sense. The only thing, we are still gonna discuss it at our meeting.
That's fine, yeah.
And then our liability insurance, we are ready to move forward with it. Mike Nelson will be at our meeting, so we can approve it and then move forward with it.
Okay.
Cool.
Yep.
Okay, good.
And we paid that for the next year.
If,
We haven't paid it yet. We
Right.
haven't gotten the
I mean,
bill,
we
but
had
yeah.
agreed to
Right.
pay for it for the
I-
next year.
right, but if we approve it, we're gonna start payments right away. We're gonna take over as soon as possible.
No, well, but we're gonna pay for it the first year.
We've already approved that to pay for it for the next year.
Well, that's fine, but I'm just, we'll see what the park board wants to do.
Well, why wouldn't you want us to pay for it for the first year?
Yeah, because you've asked us for money in the past, we're giving you free insurance for a year, and now you don't know whether you want to take it, that doesn't make
No,
sense
I'm not
to me.
saying that. I'm just saying
That's what
that.
you just said.
You just said that.
Right, I said we're able to do it, if need be.
But no, we've already approved paying for the
Right.
first year.
But you haven't even seen what our insurance is gonna consist.
We already know what it's gonna cost.
Yeah, so like 3482.
Yeah, 3482.
She went through and found out what it was.
I mean, unless you up it by several $1 million, then you would be responsible, but,
Right.
I mean, you're gonna have the same coverage that we have,
Right,
and that's gonna be 3482.
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
for their own policy, then it's like an additional 1483, I believe was that number, but yeah, it's like $3,400.
Yeah, so.
Okay.
Yeah,
If you
so
disagree, just give us the $3,400.
Well, you haven't paid it yet.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay, so anyway, let us know what
Sure.
representative.
Well,
you
that's why
want.
I'm here,
Yep.
to get discussion out so we can
No, I think this is a
get
good
this,
start.
get this ball rolling.
Yep.
That's what Chelsea was very nice to work with, and give me some information, so.
Cool.
It's okay with you, Jamie, if you're building and grounds, you and I get together with Park Board.
I'm gonna make a motion that Jamie and Tim are the committee to meet with the Park Board committee to hash out the details on
Are we
this
going
stuff.
this Wednesday then?
No.
No,
Second.
this would be, okay.
Yes.
So, are you two are good with that?
Yep.
Do we have a date as of yet, or we're gonna?
We'll have to set up, after they appoint a committee, then we'll have to set up a date.
Okay, so we have a motion and a second, Tim?
Yes.
Yep.
Yes.
Yes, okay.
No, I think it's a good idea, Mark.
Yeah, after your meeting then, you know, we'll
Let
find
us
out.
know and we'll set something up.
Perfect.
Okay, good.
Thanks, Mark.
Did you second that?
Yep.
I think.
Okay, thank you.
Should I ask you, Eileen, but can I get an email of this to me of the Park Board property?
Park Board property.
We can print it off. if you
We can
want.
print
I
it
say
off.
tonight, I can just print you off
Yeah.
physical copies before you leave if you'd like.
Email works better.
You want me just to email you just those attachments?
Yeah. Yep.
Okay, because do you get the email? I'll ask you after the meeting, but yes, I can do that.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Let me know when you're ready, Chels.
We're good.
Okay, special assessment assistant program applications. Kelsey?
Okay, we have a special assessment assistance program that residents can apply for based on their income. It has to fall within the medium thresholds of what's put out by the state. It just applies for water and sewer specials. On the spreadsheet that was given to you guys to look at, that is from the applicants that we received, the amount that would be essentially, I guess, paid by the city and taken off their specials for help for them for their taxes.
Yeah, there's three of them. It comes to $3,606.68. So I'll make a motion to approve the special assessment assistant applications.
Second.
Discussion? Tim?
Yes.
Yep. Yes.
Yes. Yes. Okay. Renaissance Zone Program Guide. So, Tim, I think you said you were on one of the original.
Right. And it's been a number of years ago, but the part, originally it was just this here. This was included later. I wasn't a part of that. But I think
I
there was,
just printed these off.
yeah, I think there was very little.
Yeah, it's gone.
What do you mean it's gone? Where'd it go?
I don't know. Somebody took it. I had it right here. Yeah, it's fine, I looked at it.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Yeah.
sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, so anyway, it wasn't used a whole lot back then. I don't know whether there'd be much interest now. It seems like it's more easier said than done with this Renaissance thing. It runs out in '23. I guess my recommendation is that we would do a little more checking into it before we renew it, just to see what the stipulations are to continue it and how much of a benefit it would be. I know it involves not only the city, but the school and the county also, because of the tax part.
Yes, and then there's like a program that they can apply to the city before it goes to the state, but there is a list of requirements that to even continue this program, we need to provide the state with, and
Yep.
it's,
It's more lengthy than it used to be, let's put it that way.
yeah, that's pretty lengthy.
Yeah.
But since I've been here, we haven't done anything with
Right.
it, so I wasn't exactly sure what it all entailed for sure.
And at the time, it was a 5-member board that was put up, and we drew straws to see who'd have 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5-year terms. I drew the short straw, so I had the 5-year term. And after that, I don't even know if it even continued after that, so there's no board members even left.
So these homes now that are in the green sections, they were all part of this,
Yeah, it just means that they were eligible. It doesn't mean that any of them received any benefit from it.
yeah, because I'm over here on Cannon Lane and I never received anything on that.
Right. Yeah, this map was, I was in on part of this map, but this all up here was added later, Don.
Okay.
But that doesn't mean that every one of these blocks, these are blocks, that doesn't mean that
Right.
every one of these blocks actually received any benefit. It just means they were in the eligible part.
So that was when Washburn was building up, when the power plant was
No, that
coming
was
in
later
and coal
on.
mine?
That was later on.
That was way later on. That was
Yeah.
around 2000 something.
So
Yeah.
this came in later?
Yep.
I think it started
yep.
in like about.
And there was some criteria of age of buildings and different things like that in order for it to, qualify.
Mm-hmm.
And then I do remember that it had to be continuous blocks, that you couldn't, like I have a block here and then zoom over here.
Yeah.
They had to be all continuous tied together.
Continuous blocks?
Yeah, of tied together, so. But
So-
I don't remember a whole lot else about it, so.
So is there a big fee we have to pay for this to keep this going then, or?
That's what we want to look into, see what it would take to continue it and whether it's beneficial to the community or not.
Yeah,
Okay, that makes sense.
yeah, we need to just put it on hold for now. And-
Yep.
Yeah, okay.
We don't need any action whether to table it or anything, we'll just check into it. so.
Put it on hold and then
Yeah.
hopefully we'll know by next month, so.
We'll take some money now.
Okay, so we have this Slack program thing.
What's that?
Oh, that's where everybody can just, email to everybody else or something like that, so.
It's a bit more than that, yeah. Yeah.
That's the stuff you talked about.
It's like Messenger Teams, but that was a little more complicated to get everybody added on there because not everybody has a West Riv email account. It's the personal one, so we found this option, which is just our universal messaging, team meeting, communication that we have. We have different categories for general, for ordinance enforcement, so whenever the guys are out taking pictures, they just send a picture into that. That is then what we use to be able to send out the letters, if there's tree branches, if they need mowing, if there's whatever it is, then we can provide pictures with them too so they can see exactly what the letter is stating in those. And just kind of, instead of having to
So this
go through
is,
text messages and go through, it's all one universal location that's saved. But you can only save up to 90 days of messaging now for this free trial that we have.
are
So
you
we
using
need
the
to
free
go.
trial now?
We are, yes. So to go back and find anything after 90 days, it's not going to be there anymore. Or it was like up to so many messages, and they've taken that away. So
Who can put stuff into this then? Everybody?
no, it's just us here in the
Oh,
office.
you.
Yeah,
And the guys out in the
and the
field.
guys.
Right,
We
guys
use
in
it
the field,
between
right.
us in the office and the guys out there, but it's our communication.
Okay.
Isn't there like calendars and stuff in this too?
Yes,
Yeah.
there is calendars in there too.
It's a pretty in-depth app. I've used it in the past. It's really good for teams, and that's what it's built for, is team communication. It's to, as she said, put everything into one place. So instead of having email here, text message here, phone call here, everything can be there, and also the unlimited message history would allow you to like supply public record requests and that sort of thing.
So we still have this community calendar thing that you were working on too?
Yeah, that's completely separate. This
That's
communication is just strictly between the city of Washburn employees.
Okay.
So you've been using it for how long? Month?
No, since May?
Really?
Mm-hmm.
And you said, how much free time do you get? Like, I think you said 3 months of free? Or-
Well, they just changed that. So that's why we're just using the free trial, but they changed it now where you think you had like so many messages, but with the free trial you can't anymore, so that's why we're looking at having.
Or in 90 days, yeah.
Yeah, to pay for it, the $7.25 is really per person is really all we need.
That's per person though.
Yeah, and we have 6 users on there. No, 5 users.
What about when we get someone help? Then we just add another one or 2?
Yeah, we could if we needed to, or they could go through, depending on.
Has it really been beneficial?
It has. Because digging through a text message or trying to figure out where you went, if you sent it to one person, if you sent it to 3 people, if you sent it here, it is nice for a centralized location. And then that way, sending out a picture, then it's all there.
So, my question, I guess, so you can only save it for so long. Once you pay, how long is it there for?
It stays in there.
Like
I
forever,
think
like
then it's just gonna archive, I'm guessing,
Like-
like our emails and stuff does after so long.
Go to the cloud then?
They'll probably just be gone after so long of archiving, but I mean, they're there. It's just kind of, they get archived.
And speaking of archive, with that other, the weird program for the social media where you could search the stuff, that'd be another good benefit of this is searching.
Yeah.
So there's a search function, you could search all channels and find stuff like that. Which then you have to think of labor saving when someone's on the clock and trying to find a message. You know, like, are you paying, you're paying them hourly, so if that's taking minutes, those minutes add up over time, just for efficiency's sake. Just something to think about. I just know that this is a pretty good program. It's
So
one of the
that,
best.
that would all be on the cell phone then, or on the computer?
Both.
Both?
Like I have it on my cell phone and I have it on my computer. So when I'm at work, I have it up on my computer. If it's important where, I mean, I'm not here, but then I can still get the messages on my computer.
How often have you used it since you started it in June?
All the time. All our pictures come through there. It's, I mean, we use it all the time.
Okay.
And you're recommending which one? Or
Just
you-
the Pro. This one right
This
here.
one?
Yeah. We don't need much more than that.
So this would be,
Yeah.
5 of them then, you, Erica, Adam, Zach, and Matt, or?
Correct.
So I see you can pay by the month, you can cancel anytime if you decide you don't want it then,
Yeah.
It's just a little more if you go by the month.
right? $1.50 per person or if you go by the month.
Yep.
But I'm sure if you pay by the year and you cancel, I mean, you probably get a refund, right, I would think.
That's still
Maybe.
pretty cheap though.
Mhm. But, I mean, we've already used it quite a bit for the last, yeah, I think we've been on it since May, June, using
Really?
it, yeah.
Well, I think you should have it then.
I'll speak up then.
I'll make a motion that we, take this Slack program.
And I'll just amend the motion to be, one subscription per employee with a variance for summer help. Like, would we just maybe have an extra account for them to use, or revisit that later to get them added? That would be,
Well, I would think that summer we would just put an extra person on for the months that they were there and
Right.
then, you know, I mean, we don't want to pay for an extra one and then have, you know,
sure,
but,
just amend.
and really, summer help probably doesn't need any.
Yeah, the amendment would be just one subscription per user.
Now, that would be strictly for the city employees. Would we have Larry on there as well, or not?
Oh, God, no.
No.
I wouldn't use it anyway.
No.
So basically, you just kind of reiterated his motion.
Right.
It'd be just, you know,
I
just
get
for the
the
5
idea,
people,
yeah.
so.
The employee.
So, we're,
So what is the motion?
the
That
original
we
motion
accept this, program and
for 5 people.
for 5 people.
Okay.
Oh, sorry, I missed the 5 people part, okay.
Okay. Why don't you second that?
I'll second it, yep, there we go.
Good job.
Please don't amend it.
Yeah, maybe my amendment was my second or late, right?
Besides, he would have to amend, not you.
Sure, sure.
You could make a recommendation. Okay, it's over here. So discussion. Discussion? No, Tim?
Yes.
Boy,
Yes.
must be-
Yes.
Yes, yes. Fire and accident.
I need my scanner. Richard hasn't got mine.
Now we get the star up here.
You know, we know what it was, the conduit went out when the diesel went off. It was from the fire department. Oh, good, good girl.
Yeah, not like she doesn't have the 411. Not like she doesn't have the 411.
That's true. All right, so, Mr. Eric, come on up.
Da, 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 da.
Closing up. How's everybody doing?
Fantastic.
Wait, what time is it? Stand up there. Still, as long as we're out here, we're a half hours up, we'll be fine.
Yeah, so I got an update that I sent out to you guys, last week.
This
Well,
has
it was
a-
on Friday.
Right.
On Friday.
This has an error on there again. Honorable
Does
President.
it say honorable? Okay.
Honorable President.
Would you change to horrible?
I I can.
Can we all vote?
So just wanted to touch the three different points here. The Red River Valley Water Supply Project, Larry forwarded me an email that I don't know if that everyone on the commission's seen it or not, but that one question that you had asked that they couldn't answer, they had said that if there was a catastrophic damage to the pipeline, if the city was to do the River Valley project, that would be a shared cost. Kip's email to you. It was a couple weeks ago, I want to say.
They really didn't say anything. I mean, they said they were gonna, there was favorable stuff.
Yep.
And.
But it was still wishy-washy.
Yeah, and then he said more information is coming, and that was pretty much it.
Yeah, so the other point I was gonna make is there hasn't been a ton of communication back from them.
I hope you can find that, because
So the letter that, or the,
you want to just read it?
Yeah, he said, Larry, we had a meeting today specifically to discuss the questions the city commission asked about major failures and who is responsible. Our committee had a good conversation, which is very favorable to the city commission's interest, and the larger project helps pay for major failures. We'll now take this to the Red River Valley Water Supply Project Users Board, which is Lake Agassiz Water Authority. They will meet in October. We thought it might be good for Washburn to join that meeting to hear the discussion. I'll follow up with more information.
And that was in
September 19th.
Yeah.
So that's been a while.
And we haven't heard a thing since.
No.
Yep. So the one thing he does say there is that the the larger project helps pay for major failures. That's the one point he made. But they had to discuss that at their next board meeting. I hope that they get back to you guys on when that meeting is, and if you would be interested in going to it.
It's the 10th already.
It is already the 10th, yep. So I wanted to just bring that up because that's the last communication that we've heard, and we want to stay on all of these different topics. So we'll see if they reach back out. The other point that I wanted to bring up is the Garrison version of water supply comparison tech memo. I have not seen a finalized tech memo at all.
No.
And you have not seen anything,
nothing.
Larry? Okay,
Nothing.
so we're still waiting for their technical memorandum that compared the two projects. We're still waiting for that to be stamped and finalized. So that hasn't happened yet, but we just want to stay as best as we can in touch with where they are on that, so that we have all the information. Okay. Any questions on Red River Valley?
Nope.
Okay, the other update on the intake project and with the State Water Commission is their meeting on Thursday, the 13th, this week. The city has requested to be on the agenda. They were moved to this meeting to be on the agenda because we intended to should back up. The pre-commission meeting was last month. We discussed the intake projects. Larry had the water supply projects. Larry had a statement that he gave to the State Water Commission, and that the city, he delivered the news that you guys voted on, is that you want to pursue your own intake if the funding is there.
Right.
Okay? So just backing up to that, make sure that we talk about that. And then they had a number of questions that they want to make sure that the city still considers River Valley Water Supply Project, and that they want to gather more information before they decide to give additional funds for the intake project. That's what they came back with. So the point that Larry's making is that he wants them to make a decision at this meeting, if they're going to give their support and funding for the city's intake project or not. The additional funding.
Additional funding.
And additional funding was that the city is asking the State Water Commission to do a 75-25 match and allow the city to use the FEMA grant for their local share. That's what was the ask. So that's what the city is wanting them to decide on or not, yes or no on.
Yeah.
And the 75 was because they've done that for others where there's rural water involved, correct?
Well, one of the commissioners
maybe
had stated in June, I think it was, any municipality that supplies rural water should qualify for the same 75% as a rural water system.
Okay.
Yeah. And the city's stance on this is that the city of Washburn is a regional supplier of water because they supply to McLean, Sheridan, and surrounding communities, not just the city of Washburn.
Right.
So that's the city's stance on that, and why the city believes that they can justify a 75-25 grant. So that's for the commission, the State Water Commission, to decide how they want to rule on that. Because there's policy, that they have, and then the commission still votes. They don't have to necessarily follow the total line to what the policy says. They can.
They do whatever they want.
So they got to make the decision. So
They actually did call me last week, some of the members, they weren't the commissioners, but they were members of the State Water Commission and staff, and, you know, they asked me a bunch of questions, and I answered them as best I could, telling, you know, why we needed this, and, you know, a little bit of history, and why we thought we should have what we have, and different things like that, so. Doesn't sound promising, but who knows?
Well, at least we get an up or a down.
Yeah, and I definitely told them, they said, well, maybe we should, you know, put it off till December, and I said, no. I said, it's time. It's been going on way too long. We need a decision, yes or no, and then we'll move on. They said, well, what if we go this route? And I said, I don't know. We'll figure it out after you decide. I'm not gonna speculate on what we're gonna do, you know, so.
yeah, and like I had said at the last meeting, and like Tim and Larry and I were on the call, because the pre-commission meeting last month was online.
Yeah.
We weren't physically there. Because those pre-commission meetings, the way they run them, you can't physically be there. So I had stated in that meeting too that, you know, the city's been working on this a long time, and that the time is of the essence, because the funding just won't be there forever. We've
Right.
already extended the State Water Commission grant twice, and the FEMA grant twice.
Yeah.
And the FEMA grant's good until March of next year, so if the city is wanting to use that, the time's kind of running short if they're gonna be able to use that or not.
The 75-25 is from the state then, correct?
It's right now it's 65-35 is the city's grant they have through the State Water Commission. Yes.
Okay.
65.
What's the 75-25?
We want to increase it.
Well, they want to
They wanna
increase it
increase
to
it.
that,
Okay.
so they'd increase
Okay.
the support amount
Okay.
to ask. Yep. So Larry and I are planning to attend that meeting in person this
Yep.
week. So that'll be at 1 o'clock at the State Capitol on Thursday.
Yep.
Okay. All right.
Any questions on that?
Yeah, any questions for anybody?
Thank you.
The next thing I got is the street improvements project, and I just wanted to report, I think a lot of you probably have already seen it, but the resolutions in the map were included. Chelsea was very diligent and followed up very thoroughly with the Leader News to make sure that the resolutions were in the paper. When we met on that, that's one of the things that Chelsea and David said we need to make sure we get done, so that got done, so great work, Chelsea. That was in the paper on Thursday last week, so that's done. And we gotta have a 30-day period with that advertisement before you can schedule a public hearing on that, so that was just an update there. So the only other piece of business that I have for you guys tonight is the amendment to the owner-engineer agreement, which is our master task order agreement. The date on that was good through 2018, so we haven't had a project in a number of years, anything beyond a letter agreement that we've done, so the task order agreement would have to be updated so that that's effective. So the first one I have is just a one-pager. It would be an amendment to update the master agreement until December 31st of 2023. So that I would ask a motion to agree to that.
I'll move we approve that.
Second.
Too late.
Too late.
Discussion? And that's still when?
That's till December 31st, 2023, and I only extended it through the end of 2023 because there's some updates. The original agreement was 2012, so I didn't want to go through the whole master agreement because it's a lengthy document. I just wanted to update the current one we had it expired. So this will just reenact that master agreement, and then I'll have some time between now and the end of 2023 to bring you guys a new master agreement.
Then when you email that was the old one then? Because there's a bigger document.
Yes.
Okay.
That's the task order for the street project, and that's the next thing I'll ask.
Oh, okay.
So I wanted to do this one first because that's the master agreement.
So a motion on the table, second, more discussion. Tim?
No, yes.
Yes.
I meant no to the discussion.
And then Larry, I don't know if you had a copy or not. I have two
I don't
copies
have a
here, but
copy.
you can have that one, and I'll have you sign that, and I'll bring that to
Can I
Lisa.
sign this one?
Yep, you can sign that one, and then I'll bring that to Lisa, and then once Lisa signs it, then I will send you guys a copy of that. So, the next thing that I had is task order number 16. So now that we have the master agreements in place, task order 16 outlines the final design, bidding, and construction phase services for the street improvements project. That was 6 pages. I don't know if you guys had a chance to look over that or not, but in this task order, it talks about all the scope of services that we have for doing all this work. So if there's any questions, I can go over some of that in more detail if you would like.
Maybe just highlight it real quick.
Okay, so anytime we do a street project, I usually do a task order because it's more in depth than like a letter agreement than we do for like the INC services we might have done or the GIS services updates that we did recently. But essentially, the task order goes through. It references the master agreement as what our basic scope of services are, and then it'll go through the scope of services more specifically on what we do in final design, the tasks that we do, what we do for bidding services, and what we do in construction phase. There's a construction admin and there's a construction project representative services, like when we have somebody on site actually observing the work being done. So that goes through there. It talks about the engineer's responsibilities and the owner's responsibilities, and then it talks about the schedule in there. I give 120 days to do all the design work and produce the final plans before we do bidding on that. And then it has the description of service and the fees for the work outlined on page 5. And
can I see page 5 real quick?
Sure. And the last page is terms and conditions and signatures. But it kind of lays out the scope of
So there'll be more than one engineer here working on that project then?
Yeah, so
Surveyor, whatever.
I will, there'll be some survey, yeah, but that survey doesn't take as nearly as much time. The project representative is the one that's gonna be on site every day whenever there's gonna be construction work going on. And the project rep, I have it planned, it says it in here, I plan a 10-week construction period. It could be less than that, and 11 hours per day for that project rep. Now, you could give or take a couple hours from 11-hour day from any construction crew. Sometimes they work 14-hour days, sometimes they might work a half a day because of weather or whatever, or it's a Friday and they want to get going for their weekend, and they'll quit early. But that's an hourly thing for that project rep, so it's an hourly to a max.
5 days a week?
That depends on what the contractor wants to do and
So
what the city agrees to. So,
Yeah.
you know, when we go into this project and we actually start construction, we have a pre-construction conference.
Yep.
In the city, and I know Larry's been through a few of those. The city would be able to express their concerns with the construction schedule and what the contractor's plan is.
Okay.
So, yep.
Need a motion for that also?
Yeah.
I would need a motion for task order 16, yes.
Second.
Yep, I moved. He seconded.
It's pretty standard stuff, I mean,
Yeah.
yeah. So anyway,
Housekeeping.
more discussion, anyone? Tim?
Yes.
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 And I have a copy of it too if you want.
Just sign that real quick.
Keith? Sure. And then I'll have Lisa sign that too tomorrow, and then I'll, if you're okay with me just scanning and sending it to you,
That's
Chelsea
fine.
will do that, so you guys have a copy of it.
Yep. I'll include it in our folder.
Okay. And then, actually, I'll have your signature on it too, Chelsea, on the bottom left, for the witnesses.
Does anybody have any other questions for Eric on anything, or?
Thanks, Eric.
Yep, that's all I had tonight, so.
All right, well, thank you very much, appreciate it.
Thank you, guys. And we'll get to work on that street project right away here.
Are you gonna be out here for part of it too?
I will be out here for part of it, but I won't be out here every day.
Okay.
It'll be probably one of our younger guys that'll be out here. Basically what I was doing in 2015 and 2016.
No, he's
When I was
gonna
out
do
here.
it.
Now somebody else is. Gotta have the next young guy learn the field work.
There you go.
All right.
Portfolios, Tim?
Okay, Adam, Chelsea gave this to Chelsea today, he couldn't make it, but a while back, I think it's actually when Colin was still on, they had bought 6 actuators for the water treatment plant just to have on hand, but we had a 12-inch that failed, so, and we don't have any on hand. It is for $3,845 from the water treatment plant, so I would so move that we would purchase that water treatment plant.
I'll second that. Discussion, that's the 12 inches, the main line coming in from the river. So it's very, very important. So.
Yeah.
Okay, any other discussion on that? Tim?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
The only other thing, and I don't know it's necessarily in our portfolio, but do we in the fall, Chelsea, put something in the paper reminding people of the winter snow ordinance, as far as, I think last year when we came up with the new street parking ordinance, it's from, we follow the studded tires thing, October 15th through April 15th, you can't have a trailer on the street anymore.
Yes.
And I think if anyone asks you about it, last year we had people bringing in trailers because it was nice in the spring, and then we fought with them during the blizzard because they sat there and our guys had to fight around several trailers that sat on the street.
Yeah.
And that's why we set that date of October 15th to April 15th.
Yeah.
So last spring was proof that if we would have stayed in that bracket of time, our guys wouldn't have had to fight around the number of trailers that they did. And then also, as far as anything else you normally put in, I know one of the things is, snow removal, not put it in other people's yards, or commercial has to, not put it in the middle of Main Street, have to take it away, that type of thing. So I don't know if you've ever done that.
Yes,
type of thing.
I actually have that going into the paper.
Okay.
I just
All right.
kind of bombarded them last week.
Okay.
And needed to make sure that
You didn't want to have the whole paper, right?
some stuff went in, so yes, and then this week I have a couple more things going in, so.
I apologize, I should have visited with you
No,
ahead of time. so-
that's okay.
Okay, that's all I had, Larry.
Perfect.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Jamie?
There's an airport board meeting tomorrow. Anything I need to take to them, or just go and attend?
Yeah, I don't think so. Just, see what they have to say. I don't know if they have any more. I know thought they might have extra Blackbeard or something. They'll probably fill you in on that, but other than that.
Okay, sounds good.
Maybe a small thing, but we're at the Lions in the kitchen this last Sunday night.
Okay.
Any story on that coffee maker taken apart or anything, or?
Yeah.
It's broke.
Okay.
It is continuously leaking, so there's been an issue over there, so the left side has never, as far as I know, the left side of that big coffee maker has never worked. When people have rented it, the hall with the kitchen, they've never been able to get it to use properly, so we have gone over there multiple times to create instructions on how to use it, but I believe it is that left side that does not work properly, which prevents the whole thing from working like it should. There has been if the water was never turned off because it's hooked into there, it has a slow leak on it. So Adam had noticed there was something going on with it, so he went over to try taking it apart. One of the other Legion guys has gone over there and looked at it and said to order new parts for it. The amount of money to get those parts to replace it is extensive, and there's no guarantee that it's going to work with those parts if they replace it anyway. So Adam's been talking to them, trying to figure out what they want to do with that or how they're going to do it, because from my understanding it was used when they received it.
It was, yeah.
So that is where that sits as to why and what they want to do with a coffee pot, or how they're going to proceed with putting that back together.
So when I talked to Adam on that, I said, talk to the Legion. If they want to pay for the parts, fine. You can put them in and try it. But we're not paying for the parts if we don't know it's not going to work. So I don't know why they can't use those big old round things. They make great coffee. So they're real easy. You put water in it, you put the thing on top, you plug it in.
Is that what they used then on Sunday? Do you know, Jamie?
Yeah, they set up kind of over by the stage and then kind of brewed it over there, yeah, so.
The big,
Yeah.
Okay.
makes great coffee.
I'm just saying, safety-wise, maybe a question, like it was still plugged into the wall and all the panels are left open and stuff like that.
Oh,
screws
yeah.
laying on
That
the-
should have been a plug, yeah.
So, maybe could I ask if it just like vacate the area, if it's not in use anyway, just so there's
Right.
not a safety issue?
Yeah, I'll just talk to them about that.
I will.
And then, that, maybe in the SOPs for the Redmond kitchen, lighting those pilot lights, you know, maybe have some kind of sticker where to light them, because like when you go over there and start cooking, you know, everybody's like, well, where's this one, where's that one, because there's 2 for the oven down low.
Right.
And then there's maybe some labels on that thing. And
Don't our people usually light them?
You see, I'm real confused by that, because normally if there is anything going on, they've always asked Adam to go over there and light them, because nobody wanted to light them. So, but I mean, that's not a bad idea.
just as a consumer or user over there.
But yeah,
Get some
typically,
instructions
if
about
we
it.
know that they
Yeah.
need it, they ask, can the pilot lights be lit? And we make sure it's done before they leave on Friday.
Well, I think that should be a question if somebody rents the kitchen. Are you gonna be using that? And if so, then you go, well, Brian, have our guys light it. I mean, because, you know,
Well,
a lot of
second, if
people
they're
don't
using the kitchen,
understand pilot lights. You know, and they'll go in there and who knows what they'll do.
But
Yeah.
for safety
Those are
reasons too.
Maybe in the SOP, if they say, are you using the kitchen? Yes, then send somebody over there to light them beforehand or something.
Right.
So,
I think that would make the most sense.
Yeah, it's a good one.
Yeah, like, it's safety, yeah, so.
And I notice these lights aren't out here, and that includes that flagpole light, so with it
Oh.
getting darker.
Really? Oh.
Maybe a guy wants to,
Might be just a bulb, you know.
but, yeah, I'll check that breaker back there before I leave and just see if
Okay.
it's something simple.
Okay.
So, I don't know, do you know if anybody's shutting them off for any reason? Or maybe in
Not that
summertime?
not that I'm aware of, but
They shouldn't, but.
I stay away from that stuff.
Yeah.
Wasn't you, right?
I was gonna ask Zach to look at it when he walked by one morning, but I just, being here, I might just go back and look and see. if
Oh, sure,
it's not
yeah,
on,
yeah,
so
okay, cool. Anything else, Jerry?
That's all I got, I guess.
Okay. Keith?
So for me, the library board is not meeting till November, so nothing to report on
Okay.
that. HR, we got moved to next Monday, so nothing to report on that.
Okay.
And police and fire at this time. So no reports.
Okay, very good.
Yeah, I was gonna ask, that letter that we sent out, has that helped with the stuff going down to that,
I don't know, I'd have to talk to those guys.
I was kinda curious, you know, we
As far
talked
as,
about it, and,
yeah, I
you
don't
know,
know.
if it actually stopped the amount of debris going into that grinder, or whatever we call that thing down there.
Yeah, I don't know if they've pulled it out recently or not. You?
I haven't heard if they did. I
I'll visit with them
don't
tomorrow.
think they have,
Okay, it's a
but
good question, Don, I'll ask them tomorrow.
Okay.
Okay.
Anything else? No? Okay, yeah, the only thing I had was, Eric and I are going to that meeting, and that's all I had, so. City personnel?
Candy Caravan is the city going, well, I already said the city would participate. I guess just permission to buy candy again to,
Same as last year.
same as last year?
Yep.
Okay. We've been having issues the last couple, I'll say last week, with dumping back here, unnecessary stuff. Just as a friendly reminder, leave it to trees and grass. There is no wood, no cages, no chicken coops, no
Yeah,
full-blown trees, not chopped up.
yeah, we have an issue back there
There's a
right
chicken
now.
coop back
so.
there? I'm just kidding.
Well, yeah, there was some,
Should've brought my truck.
that one's been moved out. That was probably a month ago.
Missed out.
But, I mean, we do
Yeah. And then,
have cameras that we can go back and
We've
check
had
it.
issues with this in the past,
yeah.
with that thing back there.
Yeah, I've had to have a
I
couple
followed
people
a
go
guy
pick
one
their
time
stuff
right
up.
out of town that was out of town that came down there and dumped a bunch of crap in our area down there.
You know, it's gonna end up being fenced off and gated. And then they're gonna dump outside the gate, you just wait, you know, but we need to somehow get better cameras out there because,
And that dirt pile prevents me from saying,
well, that's the sand pile, but yeah. Right.
a license plate if they're coming in the back way, like over the
Yeah.
weekend, I can't.
someone came in from this back way over here.
Yeah.
And dumped 2 huge trees back
Really?
there.
Yeah.
I've got the vehicle and the trailer, if
Yeah.
someone can tell me who it is, but I can't see a license plate because it's
Yeah.
blocked by the pile. So.
People are dumb.
kinda, we got something to kinda go by, but we'll leave it at that right now. Sophie?
On Friday, the guys will still be here, but can City Hall close at 4:15, just like our office part, but
Fine.
if the guys will still be around if somebody needs them.
Sure.
Okay. That's all I've got.
Okay. Rhonda? Okay, bills? We had a chance to review the bills?
Yep. I'll move that we pay the bills.
Second.
Tim? Again, you're quick on the draw.
Yes.
Yes. Yes. Next meeting, November 14th. Thank you, everybody, for coming. With that, meeting adjourned. We're out of here early. We're out of here before my time. Good.
Keith, you wanna give that to Don?
Yes. Oh, I get to see my copy.
Well, yeah.
My HR is Monday at 3.
Mhm.